Now, in the studio this morning, I have Councillor Martin Mcloughlin, and he's going to talk a bit about the forestry. It's kind of in crisis. So he tabled a motion at the last council meeting there, calling on the government to recognise the crisis in the forestry and timber sector. So Martin, would you give us a bit of background into that?
Good morning, and good morning to your listeners, and I'm delighted to be here this morning. And just before I answer your question on that, I would like to congratulate the winner of the lotto of the 19 million, and it's great to see it coming to Cllr, as you know. And we're described as the luckiest town in Ireland, and we are the luckiest town in Ireland, and it's great to see the money coming in to it. And I hope whoever wins it, our people who win it, I hope they'll enjoy it, and I hope they'll benefit from it, and I hope they won't go too mad on it. But congratulations on the winner. Now, to answer your question, yes, this the crisis in the timber industry, as I described at the last January meeting of Mayo County Council, in which I got unanimous support from all of my councillors throughout the whole county of Mayo. This was described to me by people in the industry as a crisis, and that's why I highlight it as a crisis. And the reason for that is there's currently over 5,000 applications for harvesting and felling and clear felling of forestries with the Department of Agriculture. And what I'm asking for in that regard, there was three things basically I was looking for in it: to ensure a functioning licence system to clear the current backlog of applications, and I think that's very important. To set a maximum timeline for the completion of applications and ensure a timely issuing of licences. And the third point I raised was to explore the potential for a forestry development agency to promote and represent the forestry and the timber industry. And I think all of those points are very relevant in the current circumstances and the delay of issuing licences.
Yeah, and Martin, and the price of timber is increasing all the time. And now, if you're building a house, you have to order your roof in plenty of time, and hopefully they'll be able to supply it to you. And the price after a month goes up again because they may not be able to deliver at the price you're quoted. So, do we need more forest or better quality trees?
Do we need more forest? What we need immediately is to get over this crisis in the licensing of felling. The timber industry and the forestry, whether it's a state forest or whether it's a private forest, you have to apply for a felling or clear felling licence, as they call it. You have to also apply for a licence to plant the new trees, and you have to also apply for a licence to build the roads, to haul the timber out and to the sawmills.
Yeah, so in other words, there's a lot of time wasted there applying for the licence to cut it first, then you have to apply for a licence to replant it. You'd think when it was forestry, it would be straightforward, that was going to be more forestry.
Well, absolutely. You see, there is a commitment in the programme for government to support the forestry sector. However, having said that, one could believe almost the opposite to that, because we never planted less trees than we did in the last 5 years. In the history of the forestry, we have planted less trees in the last 5 years, and the demand is getting bigger year on year. So it's very easy to make up the maths on it. Where do we get our timber from? So if we have to import our timber instead of using our own native timber, well, you can imagine the effects of that. That's having a detrimental effect on the whole industry, on the chain of supply, first of all, to maintain rural jobs, to secure enough timber to keep our sawmills going. Would you believe that we are currently hauling logs of timber from Scotland to our sawmills here in Mayo? And the talk about our carbon print and reducing our carbon print, you know, and at the same time, we have over 5,000 licences stuck in the department for to fell the timber. Now, The felling of the timber is crucial because we have timber now that's gone way over. It's time to cut. There's a time to cut it. And by not cutting it and getting it out and getting it to market, we cannot replant. So you can see how all the jobs all along, from planting to harvesting to hauling to the sawmills, and then what you refer to is crucial at the end of the chain. Timber has gone up at least 40% over the last year. And why has it gone up? Because of the scarcity of timber in the market, and we are suffering because of that. That's why I call it a crisis. That's how it has been described to me as a crisis.
Well, they'd want to start issuing these licences very, very fast and get a move on it now, as you know, or this summer will be wasted as well, which is the best time for cutting trees.
Well, absolutely, and this is why I thought there was an urgency to this, and this is why I brought it to the January meeting and not to a meeting further on in the year. I wanted to highlight it with the Minister, and I wanted to highlight it within the department, and to start issuing those licences in a timely fashion and get the industry up and running in a functional way. And that's why there is potential in looking for a forestry development agency to overlook the whole timber industry from planting to market. And you're absolutely correct in what you say. Not alone has the timber gone up in price, it's gone scarce, and the building industry at the moment are held to ransom because of continuing increases in prices of timber. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, well, of course, when the builder gives you a price and you're not starting it for another year, you know, things have gone. It's a total different price when it comes around to doing the job. And like timber, like we need it. And like the building industry, if they don't get timber for roofing, there's no other way of roofing yet. I don't know what they'll do. Like it'll be another year lost.
It'll be another year lost, and for the building industry and our people involved in that, there's a lot of jobs in that industry. And if they can get timber in a timely fashion, well, first of all, the timber itself has gone up in price by 40% or more if they can get it. But there's a scarcity in the market, so it's going to delay all these projects as well. And that's having certainly a huge effect. This licensing crisis, it's having a significant social effect, an economic and an environmental impact as well, along with impacting on the jobs in the industry. So it has been brought to me as a local councillor. There's a lot of forestation in Mayo and in the surrounding counties, and in the part of the county that I represent in the Cllr Municipal District. And those people have come to me and they have described it as a crisis to bring it. So this is why the councillors all supported this motion. It's gone to the government and to the minister, and I hope that we'll get a result on it as soon as possible.
Well, we'd wanted to have seasonal jobs for the summer for the guys working in the forest, and I know it's not a great place to be working in the bad weather and rain, but it's like you make the hay when the sun shines.
Well, absolutely, yeah. The weather doesn't impact too much on it, on the forestry industry, because most of the work, as you know, is done by machinery. But there is a time for planting. And you know, you won't be planting out in the month of July, but you'll be planting in the springtime. So, but in order to get ready for planting, there's a lot of work to be done. The mountain has to be all done, and the ground has to be all prepared, and the roads have to be built in, and all of these need licenses to do that. So it's not just a felling licence that's impacted here, but then you have the whole haulage industry as well. And the one thing about the timber industry from our forests, and those are state forests, Cllr, and the private forests as well, is all of the jobs in Mayo are all local jobs. The money spent and earned is all spent within the county, from the people that plant, the people that mount, the people that harvest, and the people that haul it, and our sawmills. They're all within our county. So all this money involved in the industry is all within the county. And then the timber, at the end of the day, is used within the county as well.
Yeah, like a lot of these trees that they're sold locally anyway are kind of softwoods, very softwoods like silky spruce, Scotch pine, what them was like. Would they not be better to plant in, some oaks and some elms and some hardwoods, or is it the ground not suitable?
Well, you're as familiar with the land in the west of Ireland as I am, but it has been government policy down the years to plant marginal land and not to impact on the farming, which would be arable land on farming. And that was a government policy down the years. And the most suitable trees that you refer to would be pine and silky spruce, and they can grow well. They can grow well on marginal land and on the uplands, and they have. And there's a market for this timber. It's not at the high end of it. We'll never grow timber at the high end of it. We grow larch, for instance, here. And people think larch is a great timber, and it is a great timber. But the larch we produce here is only used in the same way as we use silky spruce as the end product or Scotch pine and that. So it'll never grow to that quality. So we use this, but there's a huge demand for our timber here for all of the other works, for making pallets, for chipboarding, for roofing, and all of the work. There is, when you want hardwoods, yes, we have to import those, unfortunately, and that's the way it'll be.
Yeah, so like a lot of the timber down here, around here, goes down to Scariff, where they used to make chipboard, OSB board, fibreboard, all that kind of thing. There's a sawmill in Cong as well, I believe.
Oh yeah, there is, yeah, and a very successful one. It has been there for decades now. And the timber that comes out of there is used in the timber industry. We use it for planks and roof and all of that. And from once you get the timber down to a dry matter, I think it's under 7%, it can be used for all of the building industry. And there's so much timber you use in construction that this is absolutely favourable for. And then on the other side of it, you don't have the carbon print on importing timber. You produce it locally, you use it locally, and that is where we have to go for the future. We have to look at that. We have to have another look at that, and only import whatever timber that we need. But we'll always need hardwoods, no doubt about that.
Yeah, we'll always need hardwoods for the upmarket furniture, where the fibreboard can be made look like wood nowadays with veneer, and it looks very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you're talking about bringing a lot of our timber. It does go to Waterford, and it is made into chipboard and all of those other beauty boards and all those things in it. But that's all done within the country. That's all jobs within Ireland.
Oh, it is, yeah, because like when you start importing in like in a ship, it's so much a foot to bring it here, and and we're doing away with Irish jobs where we have our own. Why not get a move on and get it sorted now quicker and get everyone back working? Yeah,
and well, yes, and jobs are crucial in this industry. We have planted less timber, as I said, in the last 5 years than we ever planted since the forestry was set up back in the 50s. So, there's something wrong. And the blockage is fair. What I'm told within the institute, the blockage is among other things, it's with the Department of Agriculture.
Yeah, so I often did wonder, say, when forestry is cut away and cut down, how come it took so long to get it planted again? But now I know you have to have a licence for this. Would it not be better to have a licence to cut and include the replanting within a certain time frame?
Well, you see, this is part of the motion that I put forward at the council, and to explore the possibility of a forestry development agency that would oversee the whole industry, from, you rightly said, from the planting right to the consumer. And I think that's an area that's well worth exploring, and see that we will have a constant, timely flow of timber to the industry.
Yeah, well, sir, if there was, as you say, someone looking after that and keep the wheel turning, there'd be no downtime.
Well, I think you're right. I absolutely. I think that such a body set up would ensure that the licences wouldn't be held up in the department above any place, and you have to deal with all of the other parts of the industry, and hauling timber and cutting timber and harvesting timber in the forestries. It's all done by machinery now, but it's all tough work too. Anything doing in that it's all tough work. But when it comes to the end and you've all that done and you get over that and the weather and everything like that, and then the department, is holding up the production of timber, and there's trees that should be cut and has to be cut, and if they're not cut in time, what happens is they fall over then in the storms. They're going to pass their sell-by date, so to speak, and that's causing another problem, and it holds up the whole chain of events in planting and harvesting again. So the timber that will be coming on stream in another 30 years is held up actually now.
Yeah, and it won't be noticed until the 30 years is up, like that, when we're running short again, it seems to be enough. Yeah,
well, and if you couple that with what I've just said, we've planted less in the last 5 years than ever we planted. So you can see what's happening now and the potential effect that has up the road.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's the chain that's been held up, the wheel, as they say. When it's cut down, it's not planted in time, and that's where a lot of the problem is.
Yeah, and there's a lot of concern within the industry, and that's why I've been approached by those people. And they say, there's a lot of things going wrong. From once there's a blockage, then everything is going wrong. The whole chain of events is going wrong, and jobs are at stake here. And there's a lot of jobs in the industry, and they're all local, as I said.
They are, because there's the crowd that do the fencing around the forests for the people. They are the ones that the crews there.
Oh yeah, there's many people working in it, along the whole chain of events in it, and then at the very end, the consumer is waiting for this timber, and it's not happening.
Yeah, and is this timber suitable for firewood burning when it's at a certain moist content brought down?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Or you could use it for that, yeah. But a lot of the timber is of very good quality and is used in the whole building industry as well.
Well, that's the way it is. So what would you say to our listeners before I let you go, Martin? I know you're a busy man.
What would I say to the listener in relation to the forestry? The
forestry, yeah.
What I'm looking for here is I'm actually looking for a functional licensing system within the department, and get rid of the current backlogs, and then to set a maximum timeline for the completion of applications to ensure a timely issuing of licences. And if I could get over that within the department and be assured within the department when those licences come in that they get priority for issuing, then for me and what I'm told, that backlog could be, not alone with the backlog be cleared, but for the future it wouldn't build up like this.
Yeah, so we're kind of, everything is too much paperwork instead of getting a simple system and get on with it.
I think he's on the head there. I think a simple system is what we're looking for, and we cannot blame COVID for everything. The department might say, because of COVID, this caused a certain backlog within the department. I don't think that's acceptable in an industry at all, and I certainly wouldn't accept it. And the people working in the industry certainly won't accept that as an excuse, if that's what the department say. But I think a timely issuing of licences here is at the core of this problem. And if we could get over that and to look at the whole forestry, timber supply industry and have an oversight body on that, I don't think we'd ever be in this position again.
Well, hopefully that they will see light and that it will be that way. Councillor Martin Mcloughlin, thanks for coming into the studio today and discussing.